But this is the team I have making it to the Super Bowl out the AFC. And it's not just that CJ Stroud was good. That's one thing. It's the way that CJ Stroud was good. Moment most people came here to see: the Houston Texans, with the reigning Rookie of the Year, walked in the door, top 5 quarterback CJ Stroud. As KT shakes her head, knowing that she's going to have to deal with this nightmare for the next 15 years of her life. What is more likely? The Houston Texans make the Super Bowl or miss the playoffs?
I'm going to be objective journalist and not biased Jazz fan, but the Super Bowl, like, it would be foolish of me as a sports fan to say miss the playoffs. Like we just said, and I'm still, every time I talk about it, I just start boiling. Because if we take away the first game when they played us at home, if we would have just came and did what we were supposed to do that game, the outcome would have been different. But how does a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach, then Will Anderson get defensive rookie of the year, then you got Tank Dell just balled out. Like, I'm like, they just everywhere around the board, they just hit. And we can't, like I said, like we stated earlier, with Jazz fans, we get an ounce of a good little piece of something, we satisfied. And they just hit everywhere across the board. And I'm just like, why can't we do that? Like,
and to that point, we have to give a lot of credit to GM Nick Caserio, who I will never forgive NFL media and fans for trying to convince us that Nick Caserio was a bad GM because he wanted to trade away Deshaun Cosby. And y'all just thought that he ain't know how to do his job. And now look at him. He drafted the defensive rookie of the year and the offensive rookie of the year in one draft.
I remember Texans fans were mad about that pick.
Very mad.
Yeah, a lot of people. And that's why I'm just like, maybe that's what he needs. Kind of let him sit in the background and make move after move after move. I wish we could do that. I'm tired of being an underdog. Like, it seems like that's the only time we can do something. But I'm tired of being that. But yeah, they. That's why I said it would be foolish of me to say miss the playoffs.
So don't want to get too ahead of myself because I'm not doing my AFC West preview until the literal day before the season opener. But this is the team I have making it to the Super Bowl out the AFC. My argument against the Chiefs, I will save until that day. But I look at this team, and it's not just that CJ Stroud was good. That's one thing. It's the way that CJ Stroud was good.
Exactly.
He's good at things rookie quarterbacks aren't supposed to be good at yet. Like, knowing how to not give the ball away, knowing how to make the correct reads, balancing between being a risk taker and knowing when to throw it down. That's year 6-7 quarterbacking, not game 6-7. Like,
so you see what we're dealing with our quarterback.
Exactly. Meanwhile, I had Mac Jones last year, and I was dealing with Patriots fans telling me he could still develop, and now he's your third string quarterback. Funny how that works. Just list the CJ stats before we move on. The youngest quarterback ever in NFL history to win a playoff game, threw for the most passing yards in a game by a rookie for 70. I believe that was the Cardinals game with a comeback. Threw the most passes without an interception to start an NFL career with 191. It's all that without a running game at all. With an offensive line that was injured for most of the year. It's hard to overstate just how ridiculous CJ Stroud was last year. And outside of the fact that I think he's maybe a little bit too outside this offseason, little too many podcasts with Micah Parsons for my liking.
He's showing out. If
I'm a Texas fan, I don't love the fact that you're on a grand tour with Micah Parsons. I would prefer to see you on a field throwing somewhere with Stefon Diggs. Maybe go meet your new receiver. Yep. But outside of that, I don't really have a reason to believe that he is going to come back next season a worse player. I just don't.
I don't agree with that either. And it's that whole sophomore slump. And for me, it isn't even the play. I don't, if anything with him, I don't think it'll be the play. You got that first place schedule now. That's what that's where the issue is going. And you see, that's what happened to us. You got to play the Chiefs, like you said. You got to play the Ravens. They got to play the Bills. They got to play the Cowboys. They got to play the Dolphins. So their schedule, they have teams that we don't have to. Other teams in the division don't have to go against. Now, if they win those games, we might be done. We might be screwed. But I don't think they're gonna win all those games.
So I'm higher on them because here's the thing I always say when it comes to scheduling and when teams try to say, I wish my team avoided this team for the playoff spot, or I'm scared when this team plays against them. If you think your team is good enough to win a championship, it shouldn't matter who's in front of you. It shouldn't matter. You should think you're going to win every game that's in front of you. And that's how I feel about this team. We're going to talk about the Stefon Diggs trade in a second, because obviously that's the big headline. But somehow, some way, the league forgot that they brought Danielle Hunter in to be on the other side of Will Anderson, coached by DeMeco Ryans. And I'm just like, I don't think we realize how devastating of a signing that is for the rest of the league.
We wanted Danielle Hunter. So I was just telling you, like you said, we wanted him. Well, I wanted him. When I saw Danielle Hunter signed with the Texans, I'm like, I like you said, they got Will Anderson, offensive rookie of the year. I mean, defensive rookie of the year. He's gonna get better. Yes. Then you put Danielle Hunter. Like but I still think we should win the division.
That's where hopefulness as a fan comes in. Not even bias, just hope. So yeah. So we will get to the big headline signing. So Stefon Diggs coming in. I had a lot of reading between the lines. I admit my bias. Played my high school football in the same county as Stefon Diggs. She's like a hero to us. We love Steph. He can do no wrong in our eyes. But the issue with the targets last year that everyone kept trying to make it a big thing, I had to pull up the numbers myself to look it up, because he had 160 targets last year, 6th in the league. So I'm like, all right, I know they got a new offensive coordinator. How different were the targets? Well, I got the stat breakdown here. Before they got Joe Brady, he was 10.2 targets a game. Joe Brady comes in, 8.3. I'm like, all right, was he really that mad over 2 less targets a game to the point where he's like, get me out of here? And then I'm like, all right, maybe it's the type of targets he's getting. So I looked at the average depth of the target before Joe Brady got there, 10.04. With Joe Brady, 10.02. So the math ain't mathing. It's not adding up for me that this was solely about targets on a team where he was the definitive number 1 receiver, where now he's on a team where Nico Harris just signed a new contract. Tank Dell's coming back after not being able to finish his rookie year, and he's ready to step up and be a number 1. They're both more outside guys. He's going to be an inside slot guy. Even if he is still a number 1 caliber receiver, that's not going to be his role on the team. So the targets thing just doesn't add up for me. What say you?
I don't think it's just targets either. I just think the relationship between him and Josh Allen, it's ran its course. He's tired of losing to the Chiefs. Every season, he sees CJ Stroud ball out the way he did. Just that offense, the swagger, I feel like he can go to the Texans and really be himself. You know, the Stefon we know him to be. And he's probably looking at our division as well. I'm not worried. We got CJ. He just came in, and then I go and be another piece for him. So yeah, I don't think it's just the targets either. We've been hearing those reports for this like the second season of him and Josh Allen. I just think that ran its course.
That's really what I'm thinking too, because I don't know if I'm trying to remember if it was before this year's training camp or last year's, where there are reports coming out of there that him and Josh Allen weren't getting along. And every time, I've learned this now, as we're at this Full Sail broadcasting program and I'm learning how to read between media reports a little bit more. Usually when those type of reports come out and the team makes it a point to immediately squash them, it probably means it's true. It probably means it's true. Because they come up, yeah, no, me and Stefon are great. We're doing nah, bruh. no, sirree, Bob. But thanks to the new media landscape, in about 2 months or so, Stefon Diggs is going to be in some players' podcast telling us exactly what happened. So we're going to be able to find that out. But I am, as to seeing how he does fit on this team, I kind of laid it out a little bit before, but knowing that they have a CJ Stroud type quarterback who decision making is his superpower. So force feeding one receiver the ball is not going to be what he does. That's not what he's here for. Like, especially when Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, they got Joe Mixon, who's great at catching out the backfield now. Hopefully they'll be able to run the ball this year. Like, there's too much going on in this offense for Stefon to be like the upset the chemistry guy.
Yeah, that's why I said I feel like that wouldn't be an issue, because I feel like the Texans, that's a team where he'll be able to be him true self. I mean, look at the head coach. Like, we can see it.
I'm with you. I was
trying to see if you was getting what I'm saying. Like,
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, like, he'll be able to be himself. You see what I'm saying? The quarterback, the coach, like, teammates. So
Houston, Texas.
Exactly. That's, I'm like, me as a Jaguar fan, just that energy and the swagger. You can see it.
So obviously, I have them as my Super Bowl pick. Well, not to win it. I haven't decided on that one yet, but to go out the AFC. Do you think they're ready to take that leap? Like, as you look at the Texans now, can you picture late January, walk into Arrowhead Stadium, leave with a W on the way to the Super Bowl?
Me being objective. Yes.
I can tell this burns your soul to admit.
It does.
I can see it on your face. This hurts.
Because I can't, like I said, if you're a true somebody that talk about sports, you have to be honest. And looking at their additions, I can't sit up here and just say, oh no, like, even me saying the Jazz are going to win a division, like you said, that's more on hope. Like, that's more on, I'm expecting Trevor to make the jump. But you can see, like, they play the Chiefs in the regular season. I have them beating the Chiefs in the regular season.
I can't wait for that one.
I can't. That's how I'm like, the way they destroyed the Browns, the Ravens game wasn't all that bad. I think they could pull it off.
Funny enough, we talked about walking into Arrowhead for the championship. That game, Saturday the 21st of December, is in Arrowhead. 1 p.m. in Arrowhead. So we're going to get a preview. We're going to get our answer very quickly.
Yep.
That 3-game stretch is brutal. They come off a bye week and then they go straight into Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore.
Yep.
That is,
and they talking about that schedule.
And they play y'all the week before the bye week. So that's a rough stretch. But I believe in this team, man. I believe in the structure. I believe in D'Amico Ryans. That defense is only going to get better from the last year. Additions aside, just year 2 in the system. Like, Lovie Smith convinced y'all that Derek Stingley wasn't a good cornerback. I will never forgive him for that. Derek Stingley, who was the best man coverage corner in the nation at 17 years old when he walked on to LSU. Lovie Smith had him running a cover 2 for the whole season. It hurt my eyes to watch. I was like, Lovie, why? Why, Lovie? Why are you doing this to the kid?
Exactly. That's where I'm at too. That's why I said, yeah, they're only going to get better. Like I just said, Will Anderson, he's only going to get better. And like you stated, without the additions, they can only get better. And then you add a Danielle Hunter on top of that. Like I said, I wanted them for my team. So I can't sit up here and act like it wasn't a big deal.
It's all right. So I feel like we've kind of we've kind of already answered this question, but it is February 10th, 2025. The headline of the Houston Texans season is what?
You might do a better headline than me, but there's whatever say, and this hurts. Matter of fact, you say it because I can't even say it as a Jaguar fan. I can't even. Them words can't come out of my mouth.
Party in Houston. The parade is scheduled for February 11th. Coming down, insert major road in Houston here. That's about it.
Houston shocked by Jaguars as the Jags win the division.
I can watch you trying to talk yourself into that as you're saying it. All right, so before we get out of here, I need you to predict the order of division 1 to 4 for me.
Oh, already. 1 Jags, 2 Texans, 3 Titans, 4 Colts. That's
all right.
my predict.
I realize you are the second guest in a row I'm going to do this to, where I brought you on to talk about your team and then I have not in the playoffs. I promise listeners, this is not going to be a trend. I'm not going to be an asshole for every single one of these. But first, I got Houston. 2, I got Indianapolis. 3, matter of fact, no. Switch 2 and 3. 2, I got Jacksonville. You scared me off my Indy pick. The more I think about Anthony Richardson and the injuries, the more I'm just like, yeah. I don't want to bank on that one for them getting in. Yeah. So Houston, Jacksonville, Titans, Colts.
Yeah, see, the Colts. Look, we can't, because you almost had them in here too. We can't have 2 young quarterbacks ahead of us now. Like, that's why I said Trevor.
That would be catastrophic if the 2 guys who were rookies last year lead their teams to better records than the Jaguars. Oh my God.
That's why I said we have to win it. That's why I'm like, we have to win the division.
Well, best of luck with that one. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, KT. Give the people your socials, where they can find you, all the good things.
Socials, Facebook, Kyilan Thomas. My Instagram, no, we're gonna start with my Twitter. I still say Twitter.
It's Twitter.
It's Kyilan Thomas 1. It's Twitter. Kyilan Thomas 1. Kyilan is Kyilan. And my Instagram, I have to check it because I be doing different ones. My Instagram is the official KT1, and my TikTok is just official KT1.
You ain't gonna throw the YouTube in there too? Throw the YouTube.
Oh yeah,
throw the YouTube in there. Throw the YouTube in there.
Yeah, YouTube. My YouTube. The title of my podcast is All Things Life and Sports with Kyilan Thomas. But to find me is KT. What is it? KT 1792. They had to throw them numbers in there.
There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will catch y'all next week or the next segment, depending on how I edit this.
Thank you for having me so much. Thank you so much.
Of course.